Did you know that estimates within STRUMIS can be built quickly and easily using an import file? The file itself can be in a number of different formats, ranging from models to even a simple Excel sheet, which can then be added into the estimate using our wizards tools. The advantages of estimating within STRUMIS are numerous. When a new company begins integrating STRUMIS into their operation, the application's ease of use and intuitive interface greatly speed up the onboarding process. All estimates generated using STRUMIS will be created using company-specific standards, meaning repeatability to a high standard with reduced margins for error. The automation processes, as mentioned, such as using connected labor on importing, save time that enables more opportunities for quoting. With the use of labor, fittings, and even additions, which can be applied using fully customizable libraries, it's possible to create a full and expansive estimate within STRUMIS using not only values for the materials and labor, but also additional calculations such as delivery costs and painting values, generating a full and well-rounded takeoff. Additional features of estimating within STRUMIS include nesting for scrap, which provides ample opportunity to reduce material wastage, providing a solid platform for cost saving that will help to win bids. With the expansive capability of STRUMIS at your fingertips and new functionality on the horizon, our industry-leading software grows with your business to deliver quality and cost benefits that will only continue to multiply with years to come. So let's take a look at the process. To begin our process today, I'm going to navigate first to our estimating module in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen within STRUMIS. I'm then going to look up the side and go to Import Estimate to launch our Estimate Import Wizard. I'm going to follow it through next, and the primary prompt within this wizard is to build the estimate itself. As you can see, the auto numbering has kicked in to title this as the 75th estimate of 2023, and this happens to be a platform I'm importing into this estimate, so I'm going to title it as such for the description. You can see I'm utilizing a takeoff type, and you can see I also have some defaults set up so that the wizard automatically knows that I wish to add labor usages to my main steel items within the estimate, and also to pull through fittings against those labor codes so that I can build out a more full estimate. Through the process of this, we'll also gain value via processes associated to the labor codes and also labor for the fittings as well. I'm going to follow it through next, and here I can then choose the interface that I wish to use to import my file. And as you can see, we have a variety of different file formats that I have enabled today, but we're utilizing our STRUMIS standardized estimate listing as we're going to be pulling through a simple Excel sheet. Now we need to look for the file itself. Now, before we begin, the file here, as we can see, is a simple Excel sheet containing the steels that I wish to import, the grades. I have a feet and inches converter here that converts it to millimeters, which we'll need for the lengths. And we can see over here, I'm dividing up my steels into various different sheets based on description. So I'm going to divide the estimate itself into little subsections. And we can see here I will also be utilizing labor usages. So I'm going to be automating our codes by titling them up in this field here. So that's the list of labor codes that I have in my database. I'm then going to identify which ones I wish to use against each item, and then when I do the import, it knows which one to pick. So if I close this down, pop back into STRUMIS, and I go ahead and pick that file up to import the steels listed. So if I go to the estimate import Excel file that I created a moment ago, and I go next, it's then going to explore the steels within the Excel sheet and list them out for me. And here we are. So as you can see, STRUMIS already recognizes all of the descriptions for the steel items that I'm importing. The cross-referencing is done in the import as items already. So the more cross-referencing you do, STRUMIS learns, and it means it will make the process a lot quicker and smoother. As you can see, our labor code is also being pulled through, and as I hit next, I'm then simply going to save our cross-references if we had done any, and I'm going to hit finish. That's going to load up my estimate. And what I could do at this point is I could load my estimate report as well. But in this case, I'm going to leave that and process to add the steels in. So here is the estimate built out to begin with. So what I'm going to do is if I go to the takeoff level, you can see here the sheets that I've added. You can see that the steel has been added as well. And of course, you can see the tick box for fittings too. We can see that the labor codes are being brought through as well against each of the individual items that we had in play. If we double click and open one, we can see that we have intrinsic value being brought through as well, which is coming directly from our material prices grid, which again I defined ahead of time before importing. The labor codes are added too, so I'm getting value and hours through for the job as well. And you can see there that fittings are being brought through too. And again, as I say, labor associated to those fittings. To flesh this estimate out, I'm going to incorporate my estimate additions as well. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add my group. So my addition templates are going to be used. So I'll be pulling in my standard estimate additions for this. And I'm going to go to my final additions as well. And I'm going to add those too. So this is going to incorporate things like my profit margins. So I could add them individually, or I could again utilize my groups with the addition templates. If I go to actions and calculate, that'll change the values because it's going to now incorporate the values brought through from those additions. And from this position, I'm now at a point where I have built out my estimate. I have value. You can see the weights of the steels coming through. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to my details tab and I'm going to connect this to a quote to build up my outgoing paperwork. So if I just click on the ellipsis button on the quote, this will open a new quote record to allow me to begin to define specifics such as the customer that we are going to be bidding for. And down here, we can do things like make sure our estimate is connected so that we've got the data to pull through into our outbound paperwork. And over here, I will define the project so that that's also incorporated into my standard verbiage. You can see I also have some defaults set up in here that I've utilized the ellipsis button to do. I've ticked on for default here, as you can see, and that's automatically being pulled through every time I create a new quote, which is again reducing the amount of time I have to put into this. So if I go to my quotation detail, I'm going to then start forming my outgoing paperwork. I'm going to be utilizing my predefined notes, which means I can pre-build some standard verbiage that I'd wish to incorporate into my outgoing paperwork and simply add it in. It is possible to manipulate and change it, of course, before it is added, or I can come into here and make changes accordingly. I'm also going to do include in report so that that's included in the paperwork itself. So here I can go through and start adding in all of my individual headings that I want to do, and of course things like my quotation inclusions and scopes. I may indeed, as I say, want to modify these as I go. There's my inclusions, and here is my exclusions. And if I tick to include in the report, it'll be in the paperwork. I'm also going to tick down here to use the final weight and value for my estimate as well, because then that's going to be pulled through again onto the outgoing paperwork. However, what I could do is perhaps uncheck the final value to perhaps override and put a manual number in there if I wish to perhaps do some rounding on my figures. If I save this, I should then be able to go to actions and print quotation letter report, and that's going to generate me my quotation to send to my customer, inclusive of the project information I included, look, and you can see down here the weights and values are being pulled through as well. Now, as with any report in STRUMIS, this is the out-of-the-box standard, and it's very customizable to suit your needs. So utilizing the intuitive built-in report designer within STRUMIS, this could be modified to suit your requirements. Thank you for watching this video on simple estimate imports within the STRUMIS Did You Know series. For further information on estimating within STRUMIS, please contact your local STRUMIS sales representative.